for your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. InfoWarsLife.com. Check it out today. I have set out to bring you the most hardcore, cutting-edge supplements and nutraceuticals, bar none. And that's what you'll find at InfoWarsLife.com. We have rejected literally hundreds of products from the InfoWars Life line because they are not of the very highest quality, or because they're not 100% organic, or because they don't pass all of the strictest toxicology tests there are that we have listed at InfoWarsLife.com. Whether it's Survival Shield Nascent Iodine or DNA Force, Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality, Lung Cleanse, Fluoride Shield, Oxy Powder. I believe that all of these products will blow you away like they've done the thousands of other customers that have visited InfoWarsLife.com and believed in us and tried the products. Folks, check out InfoWarsLife.com today and the entire line of groundbreaking, cutting-edge, hardcore products.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there was a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking their hands down on the pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level. After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO, organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality.
Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled I-N-F-I-D-E-L, bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today, and we're going to be joined in the next hour with someone who is running for local office, but who is also a small businessman running a gun shop. And I think it's something that we need to look at carefully. When we say that most of the time we're looking at national office, we're looking at the president, we're looking at congressional races, or maybe even at governor's races, they understand that all politics is local. That's what the people who are successful understand. But they have us focused almost exclusively on national issues. And, of course, those are important. But how are we going to fight it when we have someone like Obama who is opening our borders to crime, to disease, to so many different things, creating wars abroad? How do we fight that? Do we fight that by sending congressmen to Washington? Maybe we fight it by getting people elected at the state and local level who are patriots. Maybe that's the way we do it. Maybe, as they say, think globally and act locally. Maybe we need to think about liberty and act locally. Maybe that's what we need to do. So we're going to talk to someone who's running here, and you're going to find a lot of commonality between what he's doing here and what you can do in your area. You need to be involved in elections so that you know what's happening at the local level. It's where the sheriffs are, where the town council are. That's where you can put some effective checks on this abuse of power in Washington, where it may be so corrupt that you can't get control of it anymore. You know, it's kind of like, in many ways, we've got this contest, Ebola and tyranny is the disease. Just like Ebola, just like a lot of infectious diseases, sometimes they can be stopped in the early stages fairly easily, just with cleaning your hands or something. But after it gets into you, starts reproducing, reaches a certain critical mass, there's nothing you can do to stop it. And so there are some things that we can do, and a lot of those are at the local level. So we're going to talk about that with someone here in Austin who's running for it. I think you'll see a lot of parallels to your area. But we were just talking in the last section about Hillary Clinton's new quote that businesses don't create jobs. You know, we need to get over the idea that businesses are interested in creating jobs. And as I said, there's a certain element of truth in that businesses don't set out to create jobs. But most of the new job creation comes from small businesses, not from crony capitalists who are the friends of Bill and Hillary Clinton, who are the friends of big GOP politicians in Washington. It's really local businesses that are creating these jobs. They're not focused on creating a headcount. They're focused on providing a service to their customers, and if that's not their primary focus, they're not going to be successful. But part of that is going to require them hiring people. And of course, as I said, it's small business that hires the jobs, and it's small business that really feels the brunt of government regulation. The people who are the crony capitalists who have bought influence with Bill and Hillary Clinton or with the Bushes, those people escape the regulations that the rest of us live under. They also escape the scrutiny of the IRS, or I would say even the abuse of the IRS. It's not just institutions like Tea Party groups that are being targeted unfairly by the IRS. Of course, a lot of that goes on. The IRS is used to target political enemies. If you haven't seen it, I would suggest that you go to Alex Jones's YouTube channel and look at the interview that we aired on Friday night on the Nightly News. We talked to someone about the case of George Hansen, a congressman who wrote a book to harass our people. It was about IRS abuses. He also wrote and got passed the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which we still use today. He also stopped the IRS from taxing the relief money from flood victims in his jurisdiction. And because of all that, he was targeted by the IRS. They used dirty tricks for him before the election. When that didn't work, they came after him with criminal charges. That didn't work. He actually, as part of that audit, he got money back from them. Eventually, they were able to convict him on some fine details of something that he had already cleared with the House Ethics Committee. He had gotten there okay with it. It was very upfront as to what he was doing, and it was selective persecution. And I'll say persecution, not prosecution, because at the same time, Ed Meese, Ronald Reagan's Attorney General, was given a pass for doing the same sort of thing. Geraldine Ferraro, the vice presidential running mate of Walter Mondale, who ran against Ronald Reagan in 1984, was given a free pass for doing the exact same sort of thing. But they came after him in the same way they came after Dinesh D'Souza. They came after him criminally for what should have been a civil fine if they were going to do anything at all. Eventually, they got a conviction from him. Even that conviction was overturned after he fought it for 10 years. It was overturned in the Supreme Court. Knowing that was going to happen, they came after him yet again. Relentless political persecution. But it's not just political persecution. They're stealing property from small businessmen. Listen to this story from the New York Times. The law lets the IRS seize accounts on suspicion with no crime required. They start out by saying, for almost 40 years, Carol Henders has dished out Mexican specialties in her modest cash-only restaurant. For just as long, she deposited the earnings at a small bank branch a block away until last year, and she got some IRS agents who came and informed her that they had seized her checking account almost $33,000. She would have that kind of money in because, of course, she has a payroll, because she has employees, jobs she created. They said the money was seized solely because she had deposited less than $10,000 at a time, which they viewed as an attempt to avoid triggering a required government report. They call that structuring. Now, if you've got a cash business and you're going to accumulate business, wouldn't you want to deposit the cash as you're getting it in rather than keeping it under your mattress? I mean, that's the whole point that you have banks, isn't it? They say using a law that's designed to catch drug traffickers, racketeers, and terrorists by tracking their cash, and I would differ with that. I would say it's not designed to catch them, okay? That's not who it's being used as. They didn't design the war on drugs to go after the drug dealers, because as we learned from Gary Webb's investigation and many other times, it's the government that is involved in that. It's the corruption. They designed it to give them power, to take away our due process, our civil liberties. This is just one aspect of it, the civil asset forfeiture laws that really aren't laws at all, because they don't charge you with a crime. They don't give you due process. They violate the Constitution. And if they do all of those things, they're not legitimate laws. But here's some other examples of this to show how bad this has gotten and how rapidly it's ramping up. They say the IRS made 639 seizures in 2012, up from 114 in 2005. Okay, so about 5 to 6 times the amount in 7 years. They say the practice has swept up dairy farmers in Maryland, an Army sergeant in Virginia saving for his children's college education, and the person that we started this with, Mrs. Henders, who is 67. It's an amazing thing to see this being done to our citizens. And of course, as I mentioned, you know, the government really does create a lot of jobs. We're at the point now where if you total up the people who are dependent on the government and you total up the people who work for the government, the massive expansion that we've seen of government employees under Obama, you're getting to the tipping point of it being more than 50%. Maybe it is already 50%. I don't have the stats in front of me. I know it's getting very close. Just with Obamacare alone, Obama added 16,000 IRS agents. And as I mentioned in the last segment, many physicians have self-retired or gotten out of the business. Many people are getting out of producing healthcare services because of the bureaucracy, the harassment of these employees that they're creating. I had a friend who was in the military, and I had a business at the time, and when we got together, we were talking about my business. He didn't ask me the metrics that you would expect, you know, what are your gross sales? What is your profit margin? How many stores do you have? Whatever. He asked me how many people I had working for me. And I thought that was really kind of a strange question. And as I thought about it, I thought, people who are working for government, whether it's the military, whether it's civilian, they are looking at how many people they have underneath them as a metric of their success, because it's all about how many people you control. It's about building an empire. And unfortunately, that mentality flows out to the entire society, because ultimately it doesn't become just about how many people you control in your own little fiefdom. It becomes about controlling everyone. That is the purpose of our government now, is to control us in everything we do. That's why they send out the emergency alert systems. That's why they want driverless cars, so that they can control your communications, your transportation, your movement, and shape your opinions. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
Using unparalleled research in the development of a synergistic formulation based around the key concepts of super oxygenation, the next level in cleansing is here. With key ingredients backed by real clinical studies, the new Oxy Powder, available through InfoWars Life, was invented during Dr. Group's research on the toxification of our bodies. Many herbal colon cleansers are harsh on the body and contain cheap and potentially dangerous ingredients, oftentimes full of synthetic fillers, GMOs, additives, or worse. Gently start cleaning your body with easy capsules that start working while you sleep. Oxy Powder does not require time off work, and there's no need for bad tasting concoctions. Instead, Oxy Powder slowly releases monoatomic oxygen into the intestinal tract and body. Experience the astonishing cleansing power of superoxide and ozonide technology. Go to InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com to get started with Oxy Powder, or call 1-888-253-3139.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWars